All right, hi everyone. We're going to get started. Welcome to the Meditation for Weight Loss webinar. So I just want to talk about why meditation for weight loss. What is it about meditation that's so good? Now, we've all kind of tried to lose weight by dieting and counting calories and restriction and behavior modification, and you end up going to war with your body. It works in the short term, but in the long term, it's always a problem. What we've discovered and what we're learning more and more is that the stress hormones are the ones that cause us weight gain. The cortisol, stress hormones like elevated triglycerides, inflammatory hormones like pro-inflammatory hormones. These type of hormones cause us to eat and eat, and they're the very reason why you end up going to war with your body, because the dieting and oftentimes the exercise doesn't address those types of issues. It doesn't address the hormones, the stress hormones that cause you to gain weight. So what meditation does is it goes directly on the hormonal level to reduce stress. It lowers your heart rate and breathing. It calms your central nervous system and creates positive neural pathways for success. One of the things that it does, studies have shown recently that when you meditate, it actually blocks the signals in the brain to the area of the brain that's in charge of stress and fear and aggression. So there's an almond-shaped area of your brain called the amygdala, which is in the limbic area of your brain, which is like in the middle of the brain, and the limbic area is your emotional brain. So when you're having emotions, either positive or negative, but oftentimes negative emotions that stem from fear, it's going to be activating the limbic area. So there's this specific area in the limbic region called the amygdala that starts pumping out stress hormones when we're feeling fear and stress. It'll pump out hormones that tell your adrenals to pump out cortisol, and that'll cause you to want to eat and cause leptin and insulin resistance, which will cause you to gain weight and basically transform your body into a fat storage machine. Well, what they've discovered with meditation is that it actually blocks signals to and from the amygdala, so that you're not only getting the benefit of the stress reduction while you're meditating, you're actually inhibiting signals during the rest of the day from that area of the brain being activated. Now, what's interesting about that is when you think about what stress really is, you're waiting in a line at the bank, and you're late for work, but you got to take care of this business. It's causing you stress. Now, there's nothing outside of you that's causing you stress. It's just the opinions that you have about being late and all these different things that are causing you stress. But what you find if you meditate on a daily basis is that you're going to be waiting in that line, and yeah, you know that you're going to be late for work, and you know that's a problem, but you know there's nothing you can do about it, and you're not feeling stress. And so the negative effects of the stress hormones, which include weight gain, are not happening, even though you're still experiencing the outside reality. So what happens is it rewires your brain chemistry away from stress during the day. So even though you're just meditating for 5 or 10 minutes in the morning, the rest of the day and over time, you're feeling less and less stress on an ongoing basis. It also activates areas of your brain that are in charge of feelings of safety, love, connectedness. In your cerebral area, you've got these centers. They get activated when you're meditating, and then during the day, the rest of the day, you're getting the positive benefits. Let's start answering some questions that are common questions. Number one, I have trouble visualizing. And by the way, Erin, let's bring Den in as soon as possible. Okay, let me know when she's ready for us, because we got both Den and Shannon going through the chat roll, so we'll answer your questions live also. But let's talk about some of the issues that people have. I'm having trouble visualizing. The thing about meditation and visualization in general is that it's like a muscle that gets stronger and stronger. And even though you may have trouble visualizing now, you get better and better at it over time. And you don't need to be able to see whatever it is that we're guiding you through in the visualization. That's not essential. What's more important is that you just participate, because you'll get into the relaxing stress reduction areas of brainwave states where all the positive things happen, and whatever extent that you can visualize, you'll get benefits. You will get better and better at it over time. Another frequently asked question: I fall asleep while I meditate. That's not the end of the world, especially when it's a guided meditation like this, because even though you're asleep, you're still getting into the alpha and the theta brainwave states, which are rejuvenating, and you're getting the positive suggestions. So in the beginning, that's fine too. And then another question that's sort of related: my mind wanders, I'm distracted by other thoughts or my surroundings. I'm not worried about that either, because all of these things change over time. Your concentration improves, your ability to visualize improves, your ability to feel more energized so that you don't fall asleep. All of those things improve. You know, Woody Allen has a quote that I love, which is 99% of success in life is just showing up. And I say, and nowhere is that more true than meditation and visualization, because simply by showing up, which is what you've been doing over the last 21 days, your mind, everything changes, your patterns change, you develop this habit, and then over time it just gets better and better. So I think I'm going to bring Aaron. Can we bring Den in? Okay, I'm going to bring Den in now. We're going to start talking and see if we can answer some of your questions that you're having right now. Hi, Dan. How are you?
Good, thank you. Okay, this is an interesting question. It's from Janine. While I found most of the meditations calming and relaxing, I found I had a problem around the 13th and 14th about releasing fear and forgiveness, and I just could not get into it and relax. Does this mean anything?
Yes. If you're listening to one of the meditations and it's causing a reaction, you're getting fidgety, you're getting uncomfortable, any of those type of things, it means that it's touching on something that's very, very important for you. That's a signal that there's issues in your life. For Janine, for example, issues in your life surrounding forgiveness. Surrounding letting go, but those are the most important issues. I've worked with so many people that have had weight issues due to an emotional trauma, and when they were finally ready to let go and move on, it's like magically and metaphorically their body let go too. You let go of all the emotional weight and your body lets go of the physical weight. It's really powerful. And so what I would encourage you to do on that particular meditation is revisit that meditation. Don't listen to it every day, but cycle through the meditations and maybe once a week come back to it till you get to a place where it doesn't bother you. Once you get to a place where it doesn't bother you anymore, I would listen to that meditation every day for about a week or two to really, really work through whatever forgiveness issues that you have, because those are the issues that are touching you. And then by doing that, what will happen is you will completely resolve that issue, and the weight will melt off you so much easier. So those issues often are the most important ones.
Well, this sort of ties into Roberta's question. She says, I had a hard time regarding the meditation, accepting your body as it is right now. In fact, I couldn't listen to it because I do not accept the way my body is now. What should I do?
Exactly. Okay, exactly. That is one of the most important things. In my own personal experience and working with many other people, I found that a turning point for me was when I was able to fully accept my body. Because when I was gaining weight, I was hating myself, hating my body, fighting myself. I finally came to a place where I just accepted my weight. I accepted myself exactly as I was. I accepted the fact that maybe I'd go through the rest of my life at over 400 pounds, and I was okay with that. And that was an important turning point for me. It seemed like after that, I let go of a lot of baggage. Again, the theme of letting go. So you're right, it does tie into the last question. I let go of a lot of baggage and was able to let go of the weight. So coming to a place of self-acceptance is so crucial. And I found that to be the case with other people that have had massive transformations, not only in weight loss, but in other health issues. You know, Chris Carr, the author of Crazy Sexy Cancer, who is also in the movie Hungry for Change, she talks about how she had to accept her cancer. Now, this is a lady who had stage 4 cancer throughout her body, and she came to this place where she accepted it. She even talked to the cancer and said, I accept that you're in my body. We have to coexist. That was a turning point for her. and enabled her to move on. So I would say to you unequivocally, if you are having a problem with the meditation that talks about self-acceptance, that is by far the most important meditation that for you to listen to. So I would do the same thing, Dan. I would make the same suggestion that I made to the previous caller, that basically you listen to that meditation maybe once a week as you're cycling through the other meditations until it doesn't bother you anymore. And then once you get to that place, then listen to it every day for a couple of weeks to really make sure that you're in that state where you can come to a place where you accept and love your body. Really great question. Thanks so much for joining us, Carol.
Hi, John. Hi, Carol.
Hi.
This is an interesting question, actually. Hi. I'm kinesthetic. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that properly.
That's right.
Yeah. So I am not great at visualizing an image. Is using a feeling as effective, or should I work on visual? For example, the feeling of the waves in Carol's were easier for me to picture than picturing the white light.
Yeah. So, Carol, do you want to answer that?
Sure. We all have a definitive or a favored channel, visual or kinesthetic or auditory. So if you like kinesthetic and you can feel the waves, perfect. That's great. You're in it. You're doing the meditative work that John was describing as so helpful with the stress hormones and letting go. So absolutely, whatever way you're in it, you're in it. So that's great.
Okay. Hey, Dan, I'm gonna take some of these questions that we have on our slideshow because they're the most common questions that we've had, and then maybe if we have a little bit more time, we'll come back in a little while with more of the questions on the chat roll. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Dan. So, Carol, here's a common question, and we touched on it with some of Dan's questions here. I have a hard time believing the affirmation.
And I would say that's the problem, is that we don't want to say something affirmative of ourselves. So it's not that we want to force it, but we say it and feel the feelings, because that's part of the release. So if we say, I accept myself, or say, I am releasing weight in a safe way, or any of the 21-day meditations, you want to say it, and even if you don't believe it, that's information for you. That's feedback. Oh, boy, I don't like saying I accept my body as it is, like you were responding earlier. That's okay if you have a hard time saying it, and it's okay if you have a hard time believing it. It's part of the process.
Yeah, I would say that if you have a hard time saying it, believing it, that those are probably the most important ones to practice, and that over time, when you get to a place where you are comfortable with it, you've worked through an issue about yourself and your feelings, and some of the issues that might be getting in your way in weight loss. So I have trouble relaxing. We sort of talked about that a little bit with Dan, but I'm wondering if you have some thoughts on that.
Well, again, not being able to relax is part of what's happening with the stress hormone cycle and the adrenaline and the amygdala that you touched on. So if you're having trouble relaxing, that's part of why the weight is staying on. Tension, stress, being uptight, not being able to relax is an issue they've now discovered related to weight, holding on to it, and not being able to let your body let go. So again, if you're having trouble with it, notice it, try it again, do the 21 days again, do what you need to do it's really, frankly, not relaxing is a practice. You have to have a habit of that. So we're trying to help you start developing a habit of relaxing.
Yeah. Yeah, and this next question, which is an excellent question, is start crying. I'm wondering what you think of that.
Honor it. It means we've touched something with the words and talking about acceptance and inviting you to say, I'm okay, and it's okay if I release this and I release it. So we talk a lot about safety in the meditations, and it's just touching you on a very deep level. Don't stop it. Don't block yourself from crying. Just breathe into it and continue listening to that particular day.
Yeah, I would say even that crying is one of the best ways to heal emotional issues. It's our body's way of releasing emotional tension, emotional pain is crying. It's very natural, and if you are crying, then that means that you're making a major breakthrough. So it actually, in my opinion, could be a really good thing. How about, is there a best time of day for meditating, do you think?
Each person has their best time, and it's very important to respect that. So first thing in the morning, middle of the day, end of the day, again, respecting your space and time. I love the idea of doing it at the same time every day, so you create this bubble around you, and this is my time. There is not a scientific, this is the best time of day for meditating. There's not a real answer to that.
Okay, so and I'm going to say for my own self, the way I developed it, actually, I developed it by listening to a meditation similar to these every day, and I used to do it as soon as I got home from work. That was my pattern. I don't do that anymore. Now it's as soon as I wake up first thing in the morning. And that's why I like kind of like the same time of day if you can do that, because your body gets used to that's the time that we're going to meditate. But certainly, if it's at all possible for you to do it first thing in the morning, it's not required, but there's a huge benefit to doing that, because you're going to have it done. There's nothing that's going to get in the way at that point. You know, sometimes if you could do it every day at 3 o'clock, there might be a traffic jam, there might be something at work or your kids. You're going to get distracted. You're going to be too tired, and you won't do it. If you do whatever you do first thing in the morning, there's a better chance of it creating a habit. Also, you're going to have all the positive affirmations, the positive benefits first thing in the morning, so you're going to start your day fresh and clear and calm. So I'm a big proponent of, if it's at all possible, to just make it a habit. You get up and you press the button and you meditate. There's real benefit to that. So but again, it's not mandatory. It'll still work. Now, what about this one, Carol? Will it still work if I don't meditate daily?
Well, it would still work because you're getting, let's say you meditate on a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you're so busy on Tuesday, Friday you couldn't get to it. You're still getting the incredible benefit of closing your eyes, staying with us with the rhythm, hearing the affirmation. So that's wonderful, but it, of course, will slow down the progress. You know, the point of this being 21 days in a row is both building the habit, but that momentum builds up. So if you're interrupted by work or family, of course we can't say you have to do it every day. So, but it will still work, because 10 minutes of meditation is 10 minutes of meditation you weren't doing a month ago.
Yeah. Now, what about, should I say the affirmations aloud or silently?
I would say them silently, because it's a meditation, and when you have to bring yourself out to say it out loud, you're actually coming out of a particular comfortable trance. You can do it either way, but it takes good work to actually say the words in your mind. That's good for you to do it differently. And so I would stay quiet for the whole time.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, listen, we've got lots of questions coming in. So let me bring in, Aaron, are we going to bring in Dan or Shan with some questions? All right, let's bring Dan back in, because we're getting lots of questions on the chat roll. And then we've got a few more questions. And then I thought maybe we'd just do a concluding meditation to help send us on our way so that we continue to get the benefits.
Hi, John. Hi, Carol.
Hi. Hey, Dan.
Hi. Hi. I've got a really, really good question here. It's from Jason.
Yeah.
What happens if you are too scared to start meditations because it might change you? It's something different. You won't be the same person again. I know this sounds strange, but when you're in a rut, the consistent bad is better than the stress of change.
Such a good question. That is such a good question. Carol, do you want to address that, or
Well, I would say incredibly common. It's not strange at all. We hold on to our identity, even if our identity is something we apparently want to get rid of or want to change. The fear is what you want to pay attention to, and then you go slowly, slowly, and slowly. But it is data and feedback about you, and preferring, as you say, preferring the way you are to the stress of change. This is so subtle, it's so effective, but so subtle. The fear isn't like other programs when you have to do major things. It's so gentle. So I would consider trying a couple of minutes, or trying one every 4 days. Don't do, if you're that scared and you simply won't do it, that resistance is telling you you're not going to do it. Could you try one? Could you pick one that seems the least threatening, just for relaxation purposes? Maybe go that route as a start.
Yeah, I wanted to. I just, again, I think it's such a good question, and what's coming to me, Jason, and I just want to tell you, is that if you have the awareness that you have this fear, you see, most people don't have that awareness, so they're going to find excuses to not meditate. They're going to say, well, I'm too busy, I don't have 10 minutes. There's really not that many excuses you can make for meditation, right? Because we're not asking you to run 24 miles a day or not eat chocolate for the rest of your life or do some kind of crazy weight workouts. There's not that many excuses you can make for meditation, but you will find them if you're not conscious of exactly this pattern that you're talking about. So the fact that you're conscious of this pattern tells me that you are ready for change. You just have to be aware that it's a pattern. So what I would suggest to you is be aware that you have this. Continue to stay conscious that there may, and for everyone else that's listening, continue to stay conscious of the fact that this pattern is at play for you, and work through it very slowly and gently at your own pace, but acknowledge it. Say to your body, maybe talk to your body and say, I acknowledge that I have this pattern. I acknowledge that I have this fear and this resistance, and I allow it to be, and I allow it to let go at its own space and its own time. Then what I would also suggest is that you maybe start by meditating while you go to sleep at night. Just press a button and let yourself fall asleep. Just do that for a while until you're ready to start doing it when you wake up in the morning or when you're awake during the day. Start that way. But just stay conscious of the pattern, allow it to be, and you will be able to break through it. Really, really good that you're conscious of that. Okay, Dan, that was a great question. Do you have other questions for us, Dan?
Yeah, I do. This one's from Kirsten. I'm fine during the meditation, but afterward, as I go through my day at work, I cannot seem to hold on to that relaxation. It's very frustrating and disappointing. Will this ever change, or how do I find my trigger?
Yeah. Okay. Carol, do you want to touch on that, or do you want me to?
Go ahead.
Okay. So what I would say, Carol, is that and also, Dan, what was the questioner's name?
Kirsten.
So what I would say, Kirsten, from my own experience, is that absolutely it changes. Your meditation permeates your whole life over time. You're going to have the benefits only initially while you're doing the meditation in the beginning, but you will absolutely, without question, find that your patterns change and your stress levels change. So I'm years and years down the road now with meditating, and I can tell you that the things that used to stress me out years ago do not touch me at all anymore, and it's just because your brain chemistry really does get rewired. That's the beauty and that's the benefit of practicing every day. If you look at it like a muscle, like let's imagine that you had your left hand strapped to your body, your left arm strapped to your body for 30 years. You've never used it. Well, when you try to use it, you can't even lift a pencil. But if you practice every single day for 10 minutes strengthening your arm, within a month, it's going to be much stronger. Within a year, it's going to be as strong as your other arm, and it's just going to get stronger and stronger if you practice it every day. And that's exactly the way meditation is in terms of the stress reduction benefits. They permeate everything after a while.
I've got an excellent question here from Katrina. I tapped while I meditated. What are your thoughts on that?
Carolyn, what do you think about that?
Absolutely love it. It's a wonderful combination, but the meditation program by itself is awesome. Again, the tapping is a more awake, alert version of healing. So if you're doing both at the same time, really look at your results. How did you feel about it?
Yeah.
I mean, I love both those tools, so they're awesome together.
Excellent, excellent. Dan, maybe if you have another question, ask us one more, and then we're going to get back to some of the other questions that we have, and then do a kind of a group meditation together.
Oh, this question's from Talia. How much do you attribute to meditation, and how much to diet and exercise for positive changes?
Okay, I just want to touch on that, and then Carol, if you want to add that. So in my own experience, and with working with now thousands of people around the world, the diet and the exercise fall into place when the other things fall into place. Now, if the reason that you have weight, if the trigger for your weight is stress or emotional based, then you're going to be fighting yourself in terms of the diet, because everybody knows how to eat healthy. It's just a question of whether they do it or not. And everybody knows exercise is good. It's just a question of whether they do it. Why don't they do it? Well, because you've got hormonal situations in your body that are causing your body to want to hold on to weight. Now, now there could be different reasons for it, but one of the reasons is because of stress and emotional issues. So if that's your situation, as it is with, I would say, 70% of people that have weight issues, then the meditation has to come first. The visualization and the meditation and the tapping and all these things have to come first, because by doing that, the hormonal situation goes away, and then the diet happens automatically. So like if you look at my diet now as opposed to 10 years ago, it's infinitely better. There's no question about it. I have a great diet, but it's also infinitely easier. It's not an effort. I don't crave sweets anymore. I crave healthy foods. That's because I addressed the emotional and the stress-related issues that were causing my body to want to hold on to weight. So the two complement each other tremendously, but the answer is that when you get the stress and the emotional issues in place, any type of effort that you make to eat healthier or to exercise is going to yield results quickly and easily. If you don't get the emotion and the stress in place, then it's like driving with the emergency brake on. Does that make sense, Carol?
Yes, and I would add, sadly, 90% of the people listening have had the experience of being really great on a special diet and doing their exercise, and then it not lasting, because the yo-yo stuff happens when you're not taking care of the meditation piece. So it's not that you can't lose the weight with diet and exercise. It can't stay off when the stress is present, either an old childhood stress or the daily stress. It is biological for us to want to then crave and overeat and not exercise and do all those other things. So that the word complement that you use, John, is ideal. Unfortunately, we have all seen the diet and exercise be good for just so long. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So once you put the meditation piece in there, the others are both easy and they last.
Right, and it doesn't mean that once you start meditating that means you can just pig out and pizza all day and ice cream and expect results, but it does mean that you probably aren't going to be craving pizza and ice cream. Simply put, meditation for weight loss practice like this is the missing link. It's the reason why whatever diet you're on is not working. So they have to work in conjunction. I'm looking forward to doing a live meditation now as a group. So if you're all ready, we just sitting up straight, and just take a deep breath in and a deep breath out and relax. And I'd like you to imagine that there's a beautiful ball of bright white light circulating around your navel, just like a galaxy of light or a whirlpool. And as that beautiful ball of bright white light is in your navel, I'd like you to also imagine that you're in an infinite expanse, an infinite ocean of beautiful, bright, white, healing light. As far as you can see, beautiful, bright, healing light. And as you're sitting there with this ball of bright, white light in your navel, and in this infinite ocean of beautiful, bright, white, healing light, I'd just like you to imagine that all the pores of your skin open up, and this beautiful, bright, white, healing light comes rushing into your body, filling your body with light. And you can feel every cell of your body being charged with light. You can feel light rushing into your chest and filling your heart with light and love. And you can feel that light rushing into your stomach and your pelvis and your thighs and your calves, your knees and your feet, rushing into your arms and your neck and your head, your whole body just filled with this beautiful, bright, healing light. And as you're sitting there with your whole body just filled with light, in this ocean of beautiful, bright, white, healing light, and with this whirlpool of white light in your navel, I'd just like you to imagine that any excess weight you have on your body just dissolves, just becomes like an energy in this white light. It just dissolves into this white light, and it gets sucked into your navel, into this vortex, and transformed into energy, never to be seen again as weight. And you're sitting there in your most perfect, ideal shape. And you can feel what it feels like to have no excess weight on your stomach and on your arms and on your legs and your head and your neck and your back. Just as you're sitting there, you're in your most perfect, ideal shape. And it feels so good. And you can imagine every cell of your body saying at the same time the words, I am fit. I am fit. I am fit. 70 trillion cells, all glowing with beautiful, bright, white light, and saying at the same time the words, I am fit. I am fit. I am effortlessly fit. And as you're sitting there in your most perfect, ideal body, with every cell of your body glowing with this beautiful, bright, white, healing light, I'd just like you to imagine that maybe you go for a walk on the beach and it's a beautiful sunny day and you're in your most perfect, ideal shape. And it feels just so good just to relax and to walk nice and easy, and your body feels so light, so easy and effortlessly light, and you start to walk faster and faster. And you can feel the sun on your shoulders and on your body, and you can feel the water of the ocean on your ankles, and you can feel the wind and hear the seagulls and smell the beautiful air, salty air. And you start to walk faster and faster because it's just so easy and effortless, because you're just so light and powerful. And you just start to run and even sprint, maybe for the first time in years, because your body is so fit and so light and so healthy, and the joy of movement is just so easy and effortless. And then maybe after you've sprinted, you turn toward the water and jump over a wave and a second wave and a third wave and dive into the water and feel the cold water soothing your warm, sun-drenched shoulders, and feel how alive your body feels, and you jump up in the air with your hands in the air and say, this is me. This is my ideal body. And now, just coming back into your body as you're sitting in the chair, taking that feeling of the sun and the water and all of the sensations and the feeling of being so alive and so vibrant. I'd just like you to imagine that the rest of your day or tomorrow, you have this feeling of vibrance and health and vitality. And because you have this feeling of vibrance and health and vitality, you only crave healthy, live foods when you're hungry. And you have so much energy. And people are looking at you and they're seeing this light coming out of you, and it's so beautiful. And you're so productive. And you can imagine how tomorrow and the next day and the next day, you'll listen to a meditation, maybe just 10 minutes long, maybe you'll do your own meditation every day. Maybe it's as soon as you wake up in the morning. Maybe it's in the midday, maybe it's at night, but just day after day, you can see yourself meditating, making that connection and having it get stronger and stronger. And you can see how day after day, you're getting fitter, healthier, more live, more vibrant, and the weight is just melting off of your body day after day, and how every area of your life is improving day after day, month after month. More success in business, better relationships, family, love, everything, all of the things that you want effortlessly come to you because you're getting healthier and fitter and more vibrant, more powerful, more relaxed, clearer every single day, and the weight is just melting off of your body easily and effortlessly. And you can see yourself every day meditating, maybe first thing in the morning or whenever it is. You sit down and that meditation is so deep, so energizing, and it's changing every aspect of your life. And you can imagine yourself now, maybe 6 months from now, maybe a year from now, when you're in your most perfect ideal shape, and when every aspect of your life is better than you could ever have possibly imagined. Your career is so incredibly satisfying. You have so much passion. You're so successful. Your relationships are flowing, and you've got so much life and vitality and health and fitness. You're living the ultimate life of your dreams. You can see that in 6 months from now or a year from now. And as you're sitting there, looking at this picture of yourself that you just created for 6 months from now or a year from now, when in every possible way you're healthy, fit, vibrant, and successful beyond your wildest imagination, as you're sitting here seeing this image you just created, I'd like you to imagine that that image is like a magnet that's drawing you, so that every single day between now and then you can see yourself doing the things that you need to do to create this most perfect, ideal life and ideal body. Maybe it's meditating every day. Maybe it's craving healthier, more vibrant foods. Maybe it's making some changes in life that lead you to a higher vibrational place, a more successful career, a better relationship. Whatever it is, that image that you've just created is pulling you like a magnet, and you just surrender to it and allow it to happen. And so in your own time and space, when you're ready, you can open your eyes knowing that you've just created your most perfect, ideal body and ideal life. That it's drawing you like a magnet, and that easily and effortlessly, day after day, you will become fitter, healthier, happier, more vibrant, more alive, more passion, more success, more love, until you have reached your most perfect, ideal body and ideal life. And day after day, you can see yourself sitting and going deeper in your meditation, feeling more relaxation, more vibration, more energy, more calmness, deeper, more powerful visualizations. And this tool becomes a tool that you use every day for the rest of your life to create the most beautiful, powerful, passionate life you could ever possibly imagine. Okay. You still with us, Kyle?
Yes, I am. I muted myself so I didn't make any funny noises. I yawn quite a bit, which means I relaxed enough to yawn, if you know what I mean. It's always a sign for me that I'm releasing. So okay. If anybody else was yawning, no worries. It's a good sign. It felt very strong for me, very powerful.
Well, once again, Carol, this process has been so great. I appreciate your expertise, your wisdom, your effort, and joining us for this webinar. And hopefully we can do many more projects like this together, because it works really well.
That would be my honor and my pleasure. I think we were quite the team.
Yeah,
so
no, it definitely
works. And thank you, everybody, for your time and listening and your enthusiasm and your comments. We just love them, so we're so happy.
Yeah, and thanks again, everyone, for joining us. And if you have any other questions, email us, and let's stay in contact. Again, thank you for participating. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have, and I look forward to doing lots more meditation with you. So thanks, everyone. Thanks again to Carol. Thanks, Dan and Shan and Aaron, and we'll speak to you all soon.